Hey everybody. Okay, what are we going to be looking at today? Well, there's a few things that we need to look at. This one I can get rid of. I can get rid of Navita, I don't need that. We'll look at that another time. We're looking at food insecurity. And look at this. Hello. Are you a red meat lover? Well, I'm not, so this is still quite concerning and a bit alarming. This group here tell a lot of things about different types of genetic modification that they're doing. And they're basically saying, read this out, future protein. If meat-loving habits prove too hard to shift, the obvious solution is to replace meat with meat. And we know what that's going to mean. It's going to be meat that comes from a laboratory. It's not going to be real meat. So they're saying that 80 billion animals die each year for us to have a meal. So that's chickens, pigs, goats, you name it, anything that's, an animal, which is quite nasty. But they're saying that there's going to be, and this is the United Nations and the Economic Collaboration Development predicts that global demand for meat will rise by 15% by 2031. So that's not too far away, and it's going to be in the affluent populations. So I don't know who's going to be getting rich because we're all getting poorer. We're all going either into bankruptcy, insolvency, or into some type of financial distress in the Western countries. So maybe they're talking about Africa. I don't know, because it seems to be Africa is the only country that seems to be moving ahead. And unfortunately, I don't know how that's going to work because they're seeming to send a lot of people from those countries in Africa to migrate to other Western countries. So how is that going to work if they're going to stop us from having red meat? Because it's not just the chickens that they're putting the mRNA technology into, which makes them a little bit dangerous to eat, and you don't want to have any of the products that come from them. But they're also telling us about this stuff about chickens. And you have a look here, not that one there. That's the one we're looking at now here. So they've now identified a gene in humans that prevents the bird flu from transmitting from animals to humans, which is positive. We can't say anything wrong about that. I have to register to read further, and I won't be doing that. So that's quite good. But at the end of the day, they're also saying about chickens, birds, that they've now edited, they've got a gene to help chickens in the food chain where it's going to stop male chickens from being born. So they're going to genetically modify all chickens. Does that mean that they're going to have mRNA technology in chickens? So even eggs will be contaminated? So, but even if it wasn't, because it is gene editing, so it's going to be mRNA crap. I tried to get the video and it booted me out. It wouldn't play. So I'll put a link and you can try to watch that yourself. But the thing that worries me even more is if they're saying this about, how it stops the male chickens from being hatched, so therefore they're not going to go to the food table or the food supply chain. Does that then mean that when this all comes into fruition, that they're only going to have the female egg-laying chicks hatched and come to a productive purpose, that we're not going to have any chicken on the dinner table? They're going to remove chicken. And if you want it, it'll have to be lab-grown chicken, which will be a mutation. You see what I'm saying? If they're going to cull, normally what happens is they have the chicks, they're hatched, the male chicks are separated from the females. They are, and you can go and look at it yourself. I'm not going to put any graphic thing on it because it's quite horrific the way that they're killed. Normally it's about 6 to 7 weeks from being hatched to being on your dinner table. The hormones and just the way that they're bred and they're fed up, they're so fat. These poor chickens are fed so much and fed so much disgusting food that they can't even stand because they're bred for their breasts. So the body weight to leg ratio or feet ratio, whatever you want to call it, is so obscenely against all odds that the animals cannot stand. So they can't run away, they can't do anything, and they are culled very inhumanely. There was a big thing here, in Australia, where one of the abattoirs, people were saying, there was video of chickens being boiled alive, and that's to get the plucking. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. So, to see that this is technology that's coming into play, that they're going to help with the food chain. How is that going to help with the food chain? It's going to remove the food chain, because if they're only going to have chickens that come to the situation where they're going to actually be part of the food system, female ones that are laying eggs, and I think they give them 2 to 3 years of the egg laying capability, and then the female chickens are also culled, and they are done routinely. So they're the ones that are in, they might be in the where you're free roaming, or there might be the ones that are caged. It doesn't matter. They don't make any difference at all. If the chickens can't lay any eggs, then they're useless. They're just useless eaters, and then they're culled, and they do that on a routine basis. It's a revolving chain of animals coming in and out. So to see all of that, it's quite alarming. And what makes it even worse is they're now saying that they've developed this, and they've got this gene to stop male chickens from being born. So I just don't understand. It's like they've got a path of destruction for us. And then you go over to here about food security. Can AI and gene editing or genome editing help? Well, in a way it can. What do I say here? One way of meeting this massive challenge would be to use the land currently given away to meat production of crops for animals to feed for human consumption. But this would require everyone becoming vegetarian, which is unrealistic scenario, into artificial intelligence. See, they don't want people eating meat. Producing what needs to eat puts an enormous burden on both the climate and the environment. Yet at the same time, crop failures caused by extreme storms, they're going to use, it's all climate change, and that's all the problem. So you can look at this yourself. The CRISPR technology they're talking about here, scientists want to use AI and what is known as the CRISPR gene scissors to develop climate-resistant supercultures capable of delivering high yields with lower resources. To do this by modifying plants' genes using a method called genome editing. That's what they want to do to us. So when you think about it, that is GMO. And we know, and I'm not going to say anything about mRNA because it's DNA they're talking about, but mRNA is exactly the same thing. Here we go. And Kenyan scientists are developing what they call a smart banana in their laboratory. They've succeeded in activating a gene that switches the plant's own immune system from a preventative measure against a virus that becomes active during drought. Wow, there you go. Look at that. That's right there. But they've even said that they will have, and I'll see if I can find it and add it to this, that they're going to have it, that you can vaccinate people with a banana. You just give people a banana and you vaccinate them. They didn't say which vaccination that was, but it could be anything, because once you have this technology that is done just like cut and paste, you can fill it with whatever you want. So caveat emptor, buyer beware. And so So I'll add all of this. Have a look. Tell me what you think. I'm a bit concerned about our poor chickens. You know, chickens have been around for a long time, and so if you have chickens in your I would love to have a parcel of land somewhere and a couple of chickens to have my own eggs. I wouldn't want to ever eat them, but no, I wouldn't like to do that. That'd be part of the family. But anyway, look after your family, take care, and be safe. Godspeed to all. Godspeed.
It makes me sick what I do for this shit.